Hi everyone. Now we are going to discuss the internal rate of return method or IRR method of financial management technique. So far we were discussing on the net present value method, which is considering the time value of money. And now we are trying to find out what should be the minimum value of your discount rate at which your investment is worthwhile. That is being calculated by keeping the NPV or the net present value to be 0, and you are calculating the discount rate. So here in the earlier case we were having this part as NPV, and here we are keeping NPV as 0. So in order to keep your NPV 0, what has to be the value of your discount rate? That is what we are going to find it out. So your CFT, that is the summation of all the cash flows. If it is positive, obviously it is a savings. Why? Because these factors CF1 to CFN is much greater than your CF0. So the cash flow has to be positive if it is for a savings, and also you are finding out the discount rate at which your investment or your NPV is going to be 0, which will give the minimum value of discount rate where your investment is worthwhile. So we will explain it with a problem. So here you can see the project requires an initial capital investment of 20,000, and the cash flows on each year is being mentioned in this particular table. Now the discount rate is 8%. You are asked to find out the internal rate of return. So obviously there is no need of giving the discount rate, because you are trying to calculate what is the value of your discount rate. So whenever you are calculating, another big point which you need to keep in mind is that whenever you are calculating the internal rate of return, you are finding a discount rate, that is nothing but a particular percentage. That percentage rate should always be greater than the prevailing interest rate in the market for that particular project to be feasible. So again I am repeating, the discount rate which you are finding out using the IRR should always be greater than the prevailing interest rate which is present in the market. That is, if your interest rate which is present in the market is say 9%, and if you are getting your IRR to be 7%, then obviously the project is not feasible. But if the IRR percentage which you are getting it is 12%, then you can consider that project, because the discount rate which you are getting from that particular project is much greater than the prevailing interest rate. So here we are going to calculate that particular interest rate where your NPV is going to be 0. So first we will calculate what is NPV at the 8%. Then only we will know whether I should go above 8% or below 8% to make my NPV to be 0. So earlier calculation of NPV we will be doing NPV is equal to minus of investment plus cash flow in each year till 6th year. You are getting it as 2791. So here you can see that the NPV is 2791. If I want to reduce my NPV to 0, that means I have to increase the interest rate. So this is a substituting different values, we can find out a value of NPV which is going to be less than 0. So what I will do is I will increase my NPV, increase my discount rate from 8% to a higher value. Now I will take my discount rate to be 12%. You can see that the discount rate is 12%. So with this 12%, I will find out what is my NPV. So now we can see that it is 495. That means the NPV has reduced from 2791 at 8% discount rate to 495 at 12% interest rate. So again, my intention is to make my NPV to be 0. That means I have to find out another value where my NPV is less than 0 or it is a negative value. So this 12% again I will increase to what? To 3%. So I will increase my discount rate again to 13%. So again I will calculate my NPV over here. Now you can see that the NPV is minus 65. So for discount rate of 12%, NPV is 495. For discount rate of 13%, it is minus 65, which is going to indicate that your NPV is going to lie between 12% and 13%. And it is very difficult to put the decimal values for each of these iterations to find out the particular value of discount rate at which the NPV is 0. So for that we will be doing the interpolation. That is 12% it is 495, 13% it is minus 65. Now I am going to interpolate it between the maximum and minimum values of the discount rate, and I am going to find out what is my discount rate where NPV is 0, which is nothing but your internal rate of return. So by interpolation method, you can see that NPV at 13% is minus 65, NPV at 12% is plus 495. Now substituting this value from 12%, what is my 12%? So, and plus 495, that is the NPV at lower rate into higher rate minus lower rate divided by NPV at lower rate minus NPV at higher rate. So your IRR is 12.88%. This is how you are finding out the internal rate of return. Now we will be seeing the advantages and limitations of internal rate of return. Advantages are the same way with NPV. It takes into consider the time value of money. It also considers the cash flows in each year. And it is very easy to understand because we are comparing it with the present interest rate. So you can link it with the, as it is a percentage, it is always a measuring scale which is helpful for the businessman to understand. And the basic limitation is that I have already discussed that in order to consider the particular project to be feasible or not, depending upon the IRR, it should be greater than the interest rate. So basically it is not able to distinguish between the lending and the borrowing rates, because the lending rate and the borrowing rate, there is much difference is there. So a higher internal rate of return need not be always a desirable feature in order to finding out the feasibility. That is one disadvantage with the internal rate of return. Okay, thank you. So what we have discussed is regarding internal rate of return, how to calculate that, and what are the advantages and limitations. Thank you.